Tucked away down this little hill off this side road in Wintersville, Ohio, is the Wright Knives shop. And it's one of my favorite places to go and visit. The people there are incredible. I've grown to just see them as family over the years. And I was fortunate enough for the first time to finally be able to take one of the knife making classes there. This one happened to be the Scandi knife class, and it was one I was super excited for. And I had the privilege to document the whole process kind of from my perspective. And although we did make an incredible knife that you'll see pictures and stuff of, I don't want this video to be about this knife at all. Instead, I hope to share with you the community that you get from being a part of a class like this. And not only that, but going even further and being a part of their pout house. So the pout house is a really fun membership that you pay once a year for, and it's all forum based, and you just meet and get to know some of the most amazing people. And there's all kinds of fun stuff that we talk about in it. Anything from camping and gear to four-wheel drive vehicles to, guns, knives, survival, the most random stuff. Anything that you'd like to collect or get into, there's probably somebody in that group of people that is a part of the membership that does it. And I hope that this video kind of sheds some light on the fun and the fellowship and the community that you get. Not only making an awesome knife, but just those memories and being able to finally put names to faces and just getting to know people throughout that weekend. So sit back, grab you a cup of coffee, and enjoy this video. And if you get a chance, join the Pout House. It's a wonderful place, and there's some incredible people on there. I wanted to start off documenting the shop empty so that you could kind of get a lay of the land and see that there's multiple stations for all of this. You have all of the different areas that they grind and remove metal. You have the big stamp that they use to put in the different logos and that nice key stamp right there that we all love. And then the big bandsaw that they use to cut handle material and we cut out our blades with. The Kydex room where all the magic happens for the sweet Kydex sheaths that you get from LT. And then the shop bot laser that we were able to do some lettering, custom lettering on our blades that we made, and they're able to do logos and whatnot on. It's really cool to see that thing work. And all the drill presses that you'll see, it's so efficient when you move through their system and how everything works together to not waste time and to just be able to be as efficient as possible.
Morning, sir.
This shot really shows the efficiency of the shop, how everything's streamlined and you don't have to worry about changing stations and whatnot. All the grinders are set up to just have a really good flow and help things move along really quick. You'll see me pass by the famous underground signature wall, which is now for the Pout House. It's basically a place that if you're a Pout House member, you can go and kind of leave your mark. You can see all the different signatures there of people that have signed over the years. So you definitely need to do that if you're a Pout House member and visit the shop. This was a very exciting thing to capture because this is the future of Wright knives. This is the new space that they're going to be moving to, and it's right next door. It's the building right next door, and for the longest time it was a landscaping business, and they were able to require this. So this is a massive space that's going to set the future of the company up. Lots of room to work and storage. And then the building adjacent to it, like right next to it, is also theirs now. And they've got their big power hammer in there. They're going to have the kilns. It's going to be awesome. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be more fun stuff to share in the future, and as they move into that space, and you can kind of see how all of it unfolds. But for now, enjoy this video and sign up for a class. You won't regret it. So where do I put in my order for that?
We made that one, and that was the only one we're making.
It was funny because that was like a last minute thing.
Ah, dang it.
I was like, what should we do? She's like, what else should I bring? Okay, let's throw it all in.
Still do the aprons.
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to be having dinner, like running in there. No, ta-da! There's not a lot of forethought.
Right? If you use paper bowls and plastic silverware, it's even better. If we have something like in the last, I don't know, at least couple of years, if we're making something that's not HelloFresh or another one that we get sometimes. Yeah.
One time I did accidentally scare somebody. I was waiting in line at the Happy Meal. Well, she got her car keys in
Like a non-carb, so like the last couple times we got like cauliflower rice and stuff. Then you're not. Well, at least me and Mike will be there.
Good morning. This is Heather from P&W Bushcraft doing a quote of coffee because I'm in the shop and I'm so excited to be here. And for today's quote of coffee,
We get to introduce everybody in a minute, but we got to start with a quote of coffee, okay? So those who watch the quote of coffee every day, that's what I like to see every day.
I have to.
All the time. I do watch it if I'm not on it, because I think those guys are doing a great job too. It was one of those things like, man, I got to have some help doing this. So we got the team behind it, and everyone's doing it. I think they do a good job too. But here is your quote for today: "Success in life comes when you simply refuse to give up, with goals so strong that obstacles, failures, and loss only act as motivation."
Dig it.
Okay? So always use those things as stepping stones and motivation. There's truth in my life many, many times, same kind of thing. Those failures just charge you. It's a problem to me is a solution yet to be solved, that's it. I don't ever call it a problem. It's an unsolved solution right now. And that's how we work it. Keep the positive side in there. Okay? We can and show you how we put them together. If anyone is interested in doing this stuff, in your hobby shop, please ask us where we get. There is no secret to knife making.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, brother.
Take your piece off and then just get it close. And bend it back and forth, you may get something to fall. Rarely ever comes completely off. So if we're doing the shop work, we have a stack on Michael's left. Now you're actually putting in the handle bolt hole.
Yes.
To verify that we have exactly the right size, you go back through the drill bits and go all the way up and all the way down.
Here we have our additional glue holes, our 2 hardware holes, and then our lanyard hole at the end. Okay?
And the series,
You said again about the glue? Like puddle on
Yeah, so we have if you're looking at it from this way, you're going to have a chamfer going down each side, then it goes through the knife and it'll chamfer out the other side. So it's making like a barbell shaped glue puddle under when the handles are together. So there will be corresponding holes on the handle. When you do work with Mikey, you'll drill through the handles and you have this glue bridge that we're creating, plus the flat surface that it's glued to.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can go.
Little places for the glue to stick. So we're going to just take this and we're going to take that and just get the 36 grit on the back and 120 grit on the front. Sam, you want to be ready for 120? Grip notch serves two purposes. The main purpose is to give you an end to the sharpen. If you'll notice on our Genesis knives, we do not do that. There are reasons we don't do it. Bushcraft industry demands, as a whole, all blade as much as you can get. However, that is hard to have a place to stop without, I don't know what you want to call it, but
An end point.
an end point. It is extremely difficult, okay? So a drip notch actually makes it a little bit easier because that gives you a sharpening stop, okay? They've been called drip notches, blood drip notches, as supposedly will drip the blood off the blade, but anyone who hunts knows that it's not going to work because your arm's clear up in here in an elk, right? So Todd's like, yeah, that don't work so much. So that's what my elbow's for. It drips off the elbow. So, okay, I'm gonna do a tail to this real quick. Now what that's going to do is anything that was drilled here or any burr that was created from the grinding or cutting is going to be gone now, so that when we do apply the handle, it's ready to go. Okay? Todd, you ready for scribe? As soon as you doing the 120 or something?
Center of this knife is. We're going to do the whole blade and maybe an inch or so on the top. And all you have to do is keep this very flat on this wee little workbench. You don't have to press really hard because the lines here are going this way. And you're going to make a perpendicular scribe mark. It's very easy, not a lot of pressure. That line.
Right.
Now we're going to flip it over and do it again. And now you have a center, definite center line.
When you do this with the 36ing, you saw how LT was able to push with his stick and kind of pull the knife across it. With this part of the process, you have to use this kind of as a unit. And this is a very unfamiliar motion for a lot of people, where you have the two pieces together like this and you're sliding both arms or moving both arms at the same time.
Okay, so now what I want you to do on this. Look at, say, anywhere, it depends on where you look, you can have a 20 to 25.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
and
Makes sense.
somehow, I honestly can't remember why, other than that worked, right, Scott? I mean, we just dialed in
Certainly
on.
worked. We tried 11. 11
Yeah.
was crap.
See?
12 was crap.
So 11 and a half.
Half was Goldilocks.
That works.
Well, you know, it could have been I couldn't see real well, and I thought it was
Or
11.
that,
They had to be
whatever.
11 and a half. And I said, hey, we're going to run with that.
That works.
I've had people walk up to me and tell me 59, 57, 59. That could be 60 or 61. You're right, it can be. But we don't know who's going to use it and what they're going to do with it. This knife could go to Alaska and save a guy's life in survival. I can't have it break because it was 61 Rockwell. 57 to 59, we know that's a sweet spot. We test our knives. We brass rod test them. We have video of us putting them in vices and watching how much we can flex before they break. And we still do that to this day. We have 4 knives sitting in the office that are in the destruction bin, ready to go. And probably next week we're going to test them because we have a new knife coming out. We want to make sure it.
A new knife.
At the buffing point, our buffing is done with a hard durometer felt wheel, so it's very firm, and we use a paste that does abrade a little, so it goes from this to this basically. But that's it. I mean, the term micro bevel gets thrown around a lot. Things like microchipping get thrown around a lot. Some people do experience those. Not that anything little anymore that gets used. No way, shape, or form. It's just not as good.
Correct, on the magnet type. So there is a slight difference on one steel, but everything else we found that range works the best.
Who here has heard of MagnaCut? Show of hands.
Remember I said about the thickness. So we're going to take off just enough to heat treat it, but not too much that we get what's called baconing. If the knife is too thin, and you heat treat it, you can have bacon effect to your knife. So we want to keep it large enough to take a heat treat, but small enough that we don't have to grind a ton of stuff off on the backside, because once it's hard, it eats belts.
That's
You
the only
say
time bacon is bad.
That's the only time bacon is bad.
Right.
There you go. He's got a jig card set up, and our jig, and this is what our split table design is. We designed this a number of years ago, and what this can allow us to do is everyone in this room, at the end of the day, you won't be able to tell who ground that Scandi, because they're going to all look dang near the same. And that is because of what we created here. This takes the human error out of it, takes your strong right hand and your weak left hand out of it. Okay, when I first started freehand and grinding back in the old days, man, I had to, you'd grind and wow, that's a beautiful grind. You don't even want to grind the other side because you know it's going to tear it up. And then you spend the rest of the day trying to chasing your tail, getting that point. So that's when I used to make buoys or butter knives out of buoys. And I just kept getting smaller and smaller because we couldn't get it.
Put it in the tube, Nick.
Hold on, calm yourselves. It's a propane forge, which normally doesn't get hot enough to do what we want to do, but because of the way these work, it does. So it's great. Once your knife is ground, into the fire it goes. And this is very hot, so.
Where to do it on our own.
Important part, science. Nick and I are the two most important people in the class teaching today.
Go over more details as we go through individually. This is just to show you the basic steps as we're going. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shout them out. Ready to go, basically. This little bit, I would heat up a little bit more, but this color is what we're going for.
And he didn't drop it.
But I can. I know, everybody freaks out. Don't worry. I can reach in and grab it. So no fishing, because that ain't fun. Paper towel, please.
Considered
Hardened.
hard.
It is still hot.
Same thing you would do. One goes in, something's got to come out and flip it over. That's how
Here to clean it up, mainly so that when we temper, we can see the color, because the color is our guide. And I'll show you that in a second. This is just a worn out red Scotch-Brite belt. That's enough.
Is that what was that demo day?
Scooter is a scientist.
Not saying what kind of stuff.
Okay, you can hear this loud hissing, a lot of pressure. We don't need that.
Luke,
All we're-
I am your father.
All we're doing is tempering.
This is your lightsaber.
But we have this hard, of course. We need to draw back the temper. We're tempering to draw back the Rockwell to something usable. We could sharpen this and use it. Very brittle, won't last long, chips, all that happy stuff. So this now is going to temper it. Hold on, Nick. Can everyone see this is starting to change color slightly?
To a certain color.
Now this,
That is our
if
guide.
you take this away from the heat, it will continue to change. So be leery of that.
For that point.
So you kind of look at that.
Void to clear.
Sort of, yeah.
Clear equals bad.
Clear the bad.
No need to quench this again. You just need to let it sit and cool off.
So you see the wrong. It's wrong. I'm telling you. Is there video audio?
All figured out. So the first thing we're going to do is going to do a demo. Okay, this is how we do this every day. So I'm going to cut the bolts off, Hand it to Mike. Mike will hand it to Sam. Sam will give it to me, and then we're going to show you how we go straight down to sharpening. Scott will sharpen it and out the door. That way you can see in real time how long it takes us to do a knife before we do all yours.
The top of that. So you're going to use both sides of a ball peen hammer because you're going to peen with it. So flat first and then round to go around the outside to smash it down.
Pass this. Is it too hot? Or you can just hold it by the blade, pass it around. So, okay, yeah. So I'm going to cut a straight line, then I'm going to cut this corner, and I cut this corner. Now it's almost round. This is how I make it round. This is my sewing machine technique. You just go like this, and you pull up and down. So I get to the flat, I go all the way back. And at that point, the top of this is around. We'll just hand it around. I'm sorry. Start right there. Just hand it that way. So that is the top of it is now shaped roughly where we want. So I'm going to shape the front of this knife the way I want the shoulders to look. Underneath side. And I'm going to cut in my contours now. I go center bolt, do a front cut. And then I want to do my contour in the back. This is where we get the Coke bottle. Looking at it from every possible angle. So I'm looking at the front, then I'm going to flip it and make sure everything looks roughly the same. Look at my tail. Does it all look right? Does it look right here? So we have those different size wheels. Here's what the last part is large and small. I'm sorry? Is it a large wheel, 1 inch? Yeah, 1 inch for the large one. And we do have a 3/4 that we usually use, rifle, especially in the finishing side. We use that to keep the belt. The red belts cut steel better than the yellow J-flexes, so he's going to get all of the scratch, the 36s that we put in. They're going to all now. The only thing that's going to be on there is a 120 one. Everything on the handle that's steel is ready to go. And what Nick will do is take it through 2 grits, a 120 and a 320, and get it ready to be polished. See how he's working on that back part of the belt to create those contours.
If I need to jump in, I'll.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the steel cleaned up. And notice that that blade is up. I'm working past this center part. I'm not above it. Okay, I don't want this coming back into me. If it goes that way. And again, blade is always up, always up. Okay, so I'm just going over the steel sections right now, making sure that all of those are ready to go and polished. And I go multiple directions so that I don't get any straight lines happening here or there. Okay. Now I'm going to get all my pins, get them a good buff on there. Hit 2 directions. Okay, and then I'll just get my overall going on.
And that's just the nature of the material
Yep.
thing. The black doesn't do that as much,
So just
nor
know
does the blue.
if you're wanting. Maybe go over it real quick, man.
The oil makes it shiny again, so it's doing it. It just we might
Okay.
need to ask to stay green.
Yeah, a couple of the places just aren't cleaning up.
Now ask me how many times we got my hand sucked. But I still don't recommend it. No, I kind of figured it was going to happen eventually. It was one of those like.
It's like I gotta stop doing that.
It's like they say, live by the sword, get sewed by the sword.
Now, also in your package, you will also notice that you have a actual CAD drawing.
We just let Scott in this part because it makes it feel good.
Shut up, Mickey Bobby.
Oh, I know you're so good.
I gotta get him into
Shake
this.
the bait. Thank you, Tony, because that was good. He needs a Mickey Bobby now and then.
Tuning part.
So that is the hard copy. Before that micro level comes in. This one.
This is the action I'm doing. I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. And I'm following this radius, so this hand, whatever hand's holding the handle, is going to go up and toward me a little bit, alright? Following the radius of the grind.
Gives it that little extra pop. Doesn't drop any of the other compound that was laying there. And this is where it's fine at the very end. It also makes sure that the tip is perfectly needle sharp.
Because what good is a knife if the kid can't open a bag of potato chips?
You got that right. You got that right.
See that wee little scratch right there? You were asking about the spine?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Now, just a heads up, that knife is for sale. It was shop built. You guys all saw it. What did you guys call